Hi, Shauna Hogue here, and today I am going to discuss some tools and tricks to help get you warmed up for your squats, especially if you find you have trouble with your mobility getting to depth, and if you have any unusual pains. A lot of times I have clients coming from their lunch break. They've been sitting at a desk for at least 3 to 4 hours. Midway through the day, they come in and we try to get a workout on, try to start with our larger compound movements, squats for lower body day, and we have a little pain, tweaks, things that may not feel so good throughout the movement. So what I'm going to do today is go through 3 things that you can do before you start squatting, which can really help to get you to good depth so that you can work under load safely. First thing I always do with my clients every week before we squat is some form of hip abduction exercise. Call these hip circles, monster walks, whatever you call them. But there are numerous ways that you can do this exercise. Most important part is that you maintain external rotation. You want to keep the legs abducted up hard and use tension with the band. Weight in your heels and drive the knees out. This is the exact motion that you want to do to get tibia rotation through your squat. So before you start your hip circles, get down and step to the side. Little steps, little steps, little steps, little steps. And you're gonna go in the opposite direction. Stay low, keep your toes out. Now, one thing I have noticed with this exercise, there's a lot of people who may not feel their glutes activating. It's very common, glute amnesia, kind of hard to get those butt cheeks firing. So you may need to try different tools, different tricks to get your glutes to activate. One other way you can do this is to step onto the band, just like this. You want to keep tension, you can twist it like this. Again, same motion. Knees are going to drive out, sit down, and you're going to take little bitty steps in each direction. Just like this, stay down, and you want to keep tension on the band so that you feel it right there, okay? And like I said, some of these work better for some people, so do a test. Just try it out. Use both bands, see which ones you like, and I typically do 2 to 3 sets before we squat just to kind of get everything firing. So that's the first thing I always do before we squat. Second thing I do is I bring the rollers. This, of course, everyone's familiar with the foam roller. This torture device you can buy off of Amazon, and this thing, whatever you want to call it. All these things, useful tools that can help to release some tissue if you have some fascia that might be tight. A lot of times the bottom of your feet, your ankles, your calves can restrict ankle mobility, and you are not going to be able to get down to a good depth, good squat if your ankle is not moving. So what I do is you can take your shoes off, unless you have a flat shoe like this, some Chucks or some Vans or some New Balance 237s. If not, just take your shoes off, and you can actually get better grip and push through your squat if you don't have any shoes on. So you can take a ball, this lacrosse ball, or even this little knobby roller torture device. You can take this, put it on the floor, and anytime you're trying to loosen a muscle or massage it, you want to start distally and then work your way up. Push the blood flow back to your heart. And I use this roller. I'll roll out my arches. Really good. If you get tight calves, you can do this. You can take this roller, roll out your calf muscle, start at the bottom, and push it up. Again, you want to make sure blood flow goes back to the heart. Try to loosen up your calves so it doesn't pull on your Achilles tendon and restrict your ankle mobility. Also, it's never a bad idea to roll out each side of the leg before you start squatting. You don't want to get too aggressive, and you don't need to do it excessively, but just doing that alone can really release your tight muscles like your quads or your IT bands before you start squatting down. So I typically will do a little adductor work. You can get here, you can roll, start at the knee, and gently roll up toward the hip. Try not to get right on your femoral artery, but you'll feel some spots. If you feel any tension, any tight spots, like on your adductors, try to let the pressure sit there and release if you find any trigger points. Again, don't get too aggressive. You don't have to go nuts. We just want to try to loosen things up before you start squatting so that it's not pulling on your joints. This alone, just doing this sometimes, if I have a client who squats, they're like, oh, my knee's really hurting. I don't like the way it feels. So before we start really, you don't want to stress your body and start working under load if it's not ready, if you're not moving in a good way. So get the roller, roll the outside of the leg, roll your adductors, try to loosen anything up, and also this right here, great tool to use. If you start distally by the kneecap, you can roll up, and just sometimes using this alone will reduce a lot of tension that the quad will cause when it pulls on your patellar tendon. Now, finally, third thing that I do, specifically for people who sit down at a desk a lot, they might have bad posture while they're squatting, may not be able to keep their heels down. A lot of times I can tell with the hips, they start to lean forward if there's tightness here, and it can be caused by both sides actually, tight glutes, tight groin, and the best thing to do that I find that really will quick fix, get everything moving and make you feel a lot better. It even helps to put a ball in your butt, ball in the butt, in the cheek, not the hole. So you want to take your lacrosse ball just like this, and you're going to set the ball right under your glute. Now, the leg in which the ball is under, you're going to let that fall to the side externally. Go ahead and lie down, and then put your opposite foot on the mat. And from here, you want to just work the ball around so that you can find a trigger point and let it sit so that it will help to release your glute. This is the secret sauce. If you're having a lot of pain in your lower back and having trouble really moving and getting good depth and maintaining form, I would suggest you put a ball in your butt. So I'm going to go ahead and do the other side. Do both sides, ball into the butt cheek, let this leg fall out externally, and then put your other foot flat on the floor. And you will find a point where it's a little tight. Go ahead, sit there, let it reach that trigger point and release. You can roll it around, roll it to the top by your glute med, and it's absolutely amazing the difference that it makes when you loosen up your butt cheeks. Now, extra points if you have a device like this. This is a horrible torture device someone loaned us, and this is called a hip hook. You can get this and put it right above the top of your iliac crest. I typically will put it against the wall and lean up against the wall. You lean into it. You can feel when you're doing this properly, when you're using this torture device properly, it feels like the tissue is somewhat spreading apart and burning. Now, you want to be extremely careful. Like I said, this is an option for a little more advanced if you're accustomed to using this. It's no joke. But by loosening up the glute and loosening up everything in front, it gives your spine and pelvis a little bit better mobility for your lower body workouts. So those are 3 things. We do our hip circles, we do a little work with the rollers, and ball in the butt. Those 3 things will get you moving so that you get down and dirty on your squats with good mobility. So hope you enjoyed this video. Lots of stuff to come. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave it in the comment section below. Thanks. Bye.